one word I would use to describe her is, I would say she's a leader. Growing up, my relationship with her it was really easy. My mom was a lot of fun. She was always very affectionate, and she's also like a teacher, so she naturally had that like just ability to like deal with and teach children, and I don't know, the love in that was irreplaceable. I feel like she taught me everything I needed to know, and that kind of gives me peace, because I think everybody's time does come when it's time. There's certain things that over time, like as I deal with different situations, I'll remember certain things that she taught me, but the number one thing that has always stuck with me was how to love people. And I think that was because my mom, she was one of those people that I remember growing up, in the middle of the night, the phone was always ringing. Like when we had house phones back in the day. House phone was always ringing, and people were always calling her like, can you pray for me? Can I talk to you about certain things? So I've always shared my mom with other people. She really wanted to teach us like, it's okay to love people, to have love for everyone, but knowing where to draw lines and like how to guard your heart against certain things, so you don't get hurt. I think she was able to teach me that because she's gotten hurt a lot. We went through a lot of different phases. So I mean, we had that black family thing where the music is playing and then you just like, oh. My parents did a lot to try to keep us outside of the house. So like there was a point in time where I wanted to draw, I wanted to be an artist, and every Saturday my mom would wake me up early in the morning and we would go to this diner, and I would get waffles with whipped cream and stuff and hot chocolate, and she would take me to Pratt Art School. So I mean, on the weekends, my mom would do different things with all of us. Sometimes we would all get up and go to the park. My parents, they're pretty cool with like making sure we were out and about, especially because space was small, and having like 6 kids is, it's a little tough. Outside of just being my mom, when she was around other people, she was just as much fun as she was with us. Like my mom, super competitive. So I remember when she would have like birthday parties, and there's one specifically, she had like a SpongeBob themed birthday party because that was her favorite cartoon. And she invited like all her friends and stuff, and she was like running through the grass like she was a little kid, like playing OUT out, playing dodgeball, and I'm just looking at this lady there was no restraint. Like this, she used her, and back in the day she was like a cheerleader and she ran track. So like she was used to like using her whole body, and like, she always surprised me. She was definitely lots of fun, super competitive, and had a lot of hidden talents. This is when I was in high school, and I was a part of the performing choir. I was a vocal major in high school, and she traveled as a chaperone with my class, and like everybody loved her. And I remember we were on the train, and she had a seat. I remember her being like, oh, Ricky, come sit on my lap. And I was looking at her like, I'm too grown to be sitting on your lap. But, when I think about it now, she was like, no, because it's going to show people like, we're really cool. Like, da-da. And I was like, you're so weird and corny. But like, I was really like squeamish as a kid. So like, I don't know. I like that moment mostly because it just showed me that she wanted to have a good relationship with her kids. She was quirky and like, really funny to me, but it's also one of those moments where I'm like, I wish I would have fully took advantage of. I wish she got sick. We didn't know. She didn't tell my sisters and I at first. And like, I remember her being outside of the house a lot. And I guess that's when she was getting chemotherapy. And I was mad. Like, I was upset at her because I didn't know why she wasn't home. Like, my father was working and I had to take care of my sisters. I remember for like this whole summer, I didn't do anything. I didn't leave the house. Like, I was like making them food. Like, I felt like I didn't understand why I was like being challenged so much. Like, why am I here? Like, I didn't go hang out. I didn't do anything that summer. And I was so angry. I'm just like, I didn't understand, what was going on. But, over time, after I understood, I forgave that situation. But I think that was one time I could say, like, for a period of time, I was really upset. I was really upset with her. Just because it wasn't long after she told us that she passed away. We only knew she had breast cancer, and we only knew for like a few months before she passed away. So, I feel like if she would have told us, I wouldn't have been so, I wouldn't have wasted so much time like feeling upset. And I would have spent more time with her too. And I think as a teenager, you still don't even really know the seriousness of certain situations. Like, you don't know. So, but there was a period of time where she was like getting really, like she was getting better, and I just felt like I didn't have to spend as much time with her. And I was at that point in my life, I'm like, I want to hang out with my friends. And like after school, I'm like hanging out with my friends and friends this, friends that, and kind of like dragging it out to see how late I could stay out. And, knowing that my mom is home, not feeling well. I just feel like I didn't know the seriousness of the situation. And I wish, she would have said something. But at the same time, maybe being too like, I might not be here one day, like saying that would almost make her feel like, it's like the minute you bring that into the conversation, it's kind of preparing for not being there. And I don't think that's something that she wanted to do, but does. But yeah, this ring right here. She bought me this when I was in high school. I mean, one day she was just like, oh, let me, I got, I'm gonna get you something, let's go, or whatever. And she took me, and she got one for my older sister as well, but she took it separately. And I was like, why am I going to this jewelry store? And she was like, okay, so here are these rings, and pick out one that you like. And I remember I was like trying to get some real edgy, like some blue or green or something like that. And she was like, I really like this one. And it's like pink and it has like these flowers on it and these little leaves on the side. And like,
oh, that is cute.
And 15-year-old me is just like, man, this sissy ring, like, I'm with this little pink thing. I was in that stage where I'm just like, pink is for like, for girly girls. And I'm like, I'm not that, right? So I was just like, this little dainty little thing is, she was like, no, I really think this is you. I really think this is you. And I was like, fine, I'll get the ring. And it's crazy because it's grown so much on me since she bought it for me. I'm like, wow, maybe my mother knew me better than I knew myself. So, or she knew what kind of person I was gonna grow up to be. I forgive you for not telling us right away and for not forcing us to spend all that time with you that you had left, for making us think that you were always gonna be here. I think forgiveness is something my mom would be proud of. She's very, very forgiving. I heard that before she passed away, she called everybody, like everybody she ever could think she had an issue with or had an issue with her. Family, friends from way back, and she apologized and she forgave them. And she didn't want anything bad in her heart, like. And so I think me practicing that, and I know forgiveness is it's not easy. So she wasn't a very prideful person at all. So I think me being able to face certain feelings and be that forgiving is something she would be very proud of. So thank you for giving me that opportunity to do that.